Young guys in and got some live work, and that was a lot of fun for everybody. It's been good practice today, so preparing for Cal.
What is the Scout Bowl? What is that?
The young men that are typically on the service team, where they're playing the role of our opponent. At the end of practice, and they really don't get action. Obviously, they don't get action during games and during practice. It's not an easy job. I mean, they're sometimes getting beat up a little bit, and it's not a glamorous job. So we give them a chance to really go out and compete live and tackle and throw it, and everybody's live and gets the juices flowing for them. It's just it's a good deal. It's fun. Everyone has a lot of fun with it.
Do you always time that kind of at this time of the year?
Yeah, we usually do it on Thanksgiving, but we're not in pads tomorrow. And since we were in full pads today, we decided to do it today. But it's typically a Thanksgiving thing for us. It's kind of, I guess it's our version of the Turkey Bowl.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. We just started doing it my first year here, and that's actually when we first kind of noticed that Connor McDermott was a heck of an athlete. I remember him catching a ball. We were playing him at tight end and catching a ball on a crossing route against I don't remember who it was against. Another good player. So it's good to see him compete.
Are you able to disclose maybe some guys that stand out in a game like that?
We gave out 4 game balls. There was probably more that were worthy of game ball, but we only had 4 balls to give out. Sho got a game ball, and he gave his acceptance speech in Japanese, which was great. Jacob Burton got a game ball, had a really nice hit on 4th down there on Matt to break up the pass. Audie got a game ball. He's been doing great all year. Probably on offense, Steven Johnson made a great one-handed catch. Probably could have given him a game ball, but we were out of balls. And then on defense, Jacob, I said Jacob, right? And then Mike Mapes. Mike Mapes made a heck of a play down the middle, and so we gave Mike a game ball. So it was fun. It was good.
Did you get a chance to talk to Dan about bowl stuff?
You know what? Right now, it's just our focus is just solely on Cal and just trying to find a way to dig out a win on Saturday, and then we'll let all that kind of take care of itself afterwards. But right now, the main focus is just trying to prepare the best we can to play great and get a chance to get a win against Cal.
Does it add intrigue that they're kind of in the same spot as you guys?
No, I just think for us and our players, it's just all about going out on Saturday and competing to the best of our ability. And I don't think anyone right now is too worried about the record. It's just about competing hard and getting a win. I'm sure that's probably their attitude too, but I wouldn't know for sure.
What stands out to you about the way Davis Webb has been able to just sling it at Cal this year?
Well, that's kind of that's how they do it. They spread you out and they throw it. He's a guy that came in, he plays with a lot of confidence, and he's got a very quick release, and he's a good decision maker, and he's an impressive player. I think he's a good football player. Obviously, hasn't been easy, following the #1 pick in the draft, but I think he's done just an amazing job. If you look at the statistics, offensively, they're one of the top, certainly pass offenses in the nation, and I think we're ranked number 8 in the nation in pass efficiency on defense, so it ought to be a really good matchup.
He took advantage of the grad transfer rule. Is that something you like about college football? Would you be open to bringing guys in?
Absolutely, I think it's necessary. I think it needs to be a level playing field, though. I think if we're going to do that, then every school ought to have the opportunity, somewhere to, there just shouldn't be inequities, and it's necessary now. And I think what's made it really necessary is juniors leaving early for the draft more frequently. And so, as you recruit, it's hard to plan for a 4 or even a 5-year guy. When you redshirt, a guy could come out after 2 after his redshirt, so that makes it pretty difficult. And so, what teams have done, the top teams as we've seen around the country, have been able to bring in graduate transfers. You saw at Texas A&M, they had a quarterback that was a graduate transfer, and we played against the first game, and then this last game, graduate transfer. Last week, USC, their defensive nose tackle, graduate transfer. Great players. Finding a way to play another year, and I think that's what teams are doing. And if you want to keep up with teams, and you have to be able to do that. And so we're always looking. You look at other Division I players. You look at Division II players that have been successful, that maybe coming out of high school, they weren't as highly acclaimed, but they've really developed.
When you say the inequities, what is it that you're?
I just think everyone, it's really hard in college football because it's different than, say, the National Football League, where there's 32 teams and it's a league and they're all operating under the exact same rules in terms of strength of schedule and money and all of those things. And in college football, there's just inequities. Some team, there's haves and have-nots, and there's different admission standards across the country for different schools. And so, that can make it a little bit more difficult. And so, it's kind of the same as some conferences playing 8 games interconference and some playing 9. It's really hard to find an equal level of play, I guess, in all areas. It's probably impossible.
How do the admission standards here compare with other places?
Oh, I'm not really sure. This is the only place I've ever been, so, this is obviously a great school, tremendous academic institution, one of the best in the world, and extremely competitive to get into, and you get a degree from here, it really means something. So, it's going to be difficult, which it should be. It's UCLA. We have standards here.
Are you considering switching sidelines at the Rose Bowl? Is that something you're looking into?
I've heard that there was an email sent out to the students, but really that's about all I know about it.
Would you be in favor of that?
I haven't thought about it one single instant. That's not anything that's even close on my agenda. My agenda right now is trying to get a win versus Cal, and then doing the best we can in recruiting. So, okay.